Get those later. Alright, let's see. Why is that popping up? I'm just gonna grab a cream-filled character. Hello, Pablo. Yeah, I know, it's been a while. Let's play with... Let's play with avocado. There we go. Yeah, today will be a short stream, but I wanted to practice because I plan on doing more, but I figured I'd use today as just a warm-up stream. So let's see. Because I'm thinking of, yeah, since I'm experimenting, I'm thinking of using different brushes and stuff like that. Yeah, just a short one. I wanted to take the time to practice because I want to try doing different methods and other ideas that I've been planning. So I want to warm up, or at least get myself familiar with some ideas. So for now, I'm just gonna use avocado as my practice character. So in fact, let me bring her up on screen so that way we have a little bit more to look at. So bring her over here. Mostly just gonna draw her head and maybe like torso and all that, but mostly just using her for testing stuff. But yeah, just I just want to try out something different and see if it makes like some artwork that ideas I want to do a little bit easier. Yeah, she's one of the cream-filled characters. Actually, she wouldn't have these. It'd But yeah, just trying some stuff out. That's why I'm changing like the brush that I'm using. Hello, welcome. I don't think I ever watched the movie of that. I only read the book. If I did see the movie, I think I like vaguely saw it because like another person wanted to see it or something. And I know there's like what, 2 or 3 movies of it. But I hope everyone's doing alright. I was thinking of giving her goofy eyes, but I was like, nah, she doesn't need that. Let's give her a big old smile or something. Oh, you're collecting Pokemon for your living decks? That's good. Hopefully, again, like, I hope they come out with a Pokemon game that has all the Pokemon in it again. Honestly, it sounds like the usual methods that the company has been doing with Pokemon. They just finally applied it to Pokemon with the recent 2-3 games. Because before they said like they were removing features that people liked from Pokemon, so that way when they brought those features back, they would be like, "Oh yay, they finally brought it back," and everyone's all happy. But that's just like a really dumb reason to remove those features. So now they just got to the point where removing Pokemon is the feature that they're removing. So that way when they bring it back, everyone's all happy. Because it's already been proven that the Pokemon could have easily been in each of the games. Uh, a plush wish? I don't think I've heard of those. Let me look that up just to see. Huh, interesting. If I were to have one of my characters, who would I pick? Not sure. Maybe Raz as like the starter, or even Jolly. Just vibing tonight. But yeah, today is more of a me experimenting with things. So yeah, not sure how long the stream will be, but it'll definitely be a short one. And then, hopefully starting next week, I would like to stream more often, so I'm gonna try to see how much I can stream each of the weeks. And then I should be getting the remaining Fat Lovers Club artwork done this weekend. And I believe on Sunday I should be putting up another poll for people to vote on for this month. The best club. This is probably moved over a bit since she's facing this direction. This brush is alright, but feels a little too smooth for my usual style. But that's fine, because that way I can, knowing this, I can use this brush for other things in the future. But that's okay, I can use this for more experimenting for this stream. There we go. Smooth that out a bit. And just for the hell of it, let's give it like a toothy grin. Have some fun with this. Well, yeah, I hope everyone had a fun Halloween. Let's see. I'm not like, do I want to give her like actual teeth and all that, and like make it look like this, and try to make it all detailed and all that, or should I just go for the whole anime smile thing, like this? This is fine. Just to show that she has a bit of a that she has her beak. This brush isn't bad if I want to do something with thicker lines. I can use his head as an example. So yeah, like just experimenting with things because like I want to try changing up how I do some stuff. So like in her case, maybe I want to go for a more cartoony look, which honestly I probably need to study up on more because I rarely do it. So definitely be one of those things where, like, I don't know, like if I'm starting with her eyes, well actually her eyes would probably be a little bit more oval in her case. And this is like a style that I haven't touched on in God knows how long. Like decades at this point. I think like the closest would be like Sonic the Hedgehog. But like for example, this would be like this or whatever. And for the most part, the pupils and irises would probably remain the same. And usually stuff like that. This kind of depends on where I'm going with the art style. Because the things like eyelashes is subjective, so you can change that up. Alright, have a good day. Be safe. And then, it kind of depends on where I go from here. Because, like, art style wise, I could either make a nose like this for whatever purpose, or keep it similar to the top one, where we just give a smile and then shape the head around it, like I was already doing. And honestly, when it comes to cartoony style, it's mostly just the eyes and like probably some parts of the body, like, you know, making the rubber hose hands and all that. So, you know, kind of just depends on where I go. But this is something to think about for when I branch out into other things. Or at least jump from style to style, because that way it gives me more tools to use. And then, like, since she does have darker lines under her eyes, I can change that up. I can either make them like that, or I can like actually line it up with her actual eye, like this. Make it a little darker if I want, but I think the individual shade would be a better fit for this. But yeah, this is just something I'll have to actually practice. So I'll probably look at stuff at like Looney Tunes and all that, and Disney and all that, to get a better feel for it. Because the most I ever looked at Disney was for DuckTales, because I figured they had like the best method for that. And then like an extra line, something more detailed about that. Yeah, like I'll likely use both. Like I'm not gonna stop using the method I'm using, but I'd like to learn more, because that's what I want to do this month. I want to learn a lot more things, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I just gotta take the plunge and crack at it. So I've been looking at things like animation stuff, because like I've only done 2 animations so far, and I'd like to do more. So I'm actively trying to push myself into doing things like that again. And then I also want to stream more often, so that's why I've been revamping how my stream looks and all that, trying to make it look more a little bit more professional. Oh yeah, both is good. El Dorado is such a good movie. Okay, so this is and then this is the brush that I normally use. So like, because I like the way I like the sketchiness of this. And granted, like I'm drawing the eyes a bit different, because this is how I normally draw the eyes for certain characters. But like other characters, like say Jolly, I do like the Tails style from Sonic the Hedgehog, where the eyes are like this. And then, you know, if you're drawing like a girl, usually they have their eye, because female characters usually have, like, you know, their eyelids half open type of thing, to make it look more alluring. So something like that. And then, of course, depending on where you're going with it, if you do like the Sonic style, you'll have the eyes more like that. Get the mouth above. You know, something like that. So, just honestly, like, there is no wrong idea with how you draw certain things. It just depends on how you make it work. And then I don't know if we're trying to go realistic. Like, I rarely do realistic. I think the only times I've tried to do realistic is with like human characters that show up in the comics, and even then it's like whatever. And I usually try doing it with older characters, but I think I just gotta practice drawing older characters, or drawing older characters in my style, because that way I can make it actually work. And then, I don't know, that's when the eyebrow would be up here or something. It's because this is like a method I don't use very often, which is why it looks all messy and messed up. And then there's like the triangle method, where it's more like this. And then people kind of shape it. Something like that. Like I said, this is like a method I rarely, if at all, use. So something like that. Oh, thank you for coming. And thank you. Glad you like my stuff. Anyway, this is a good time to just do warm up sketches. Just kind of have fun with this. If I wanted to try to do it more crazy detail, let me move this over. Because like, if you've paid attention to like my older stuff, like you could see that my style has fluctuated quite a bit. Like some stuff stay the same, but then other times it's just like way more detailed than probably should be. Kind of like if you looked at like the earlier iHat pages where Skylar looks a lot more detailed, or just has more to him, and then he was definitely buffer in the earlier pages when I like slimmed him down a bit to make more sense. Not that I wouldn't draw buffer characters, but it's just more like it better fit his character to not have him overly buff. So like for example, if I wanted to make this a little bit more detailed, and granted this is probably not that different from what I normally do. But like I like pay attention more to like the shape of the eyelid. And a lot of times I draw this way. Anyway. But what I mean by details is more of like how much line is going to be on like the face or something. Like, am I going to exaggerate where the eyebrows are, or like cheekbones or something? And then I've been debating about how I do irises and pupils, because a lot of time I just draw it like this, where it just has like the line like that. But I've been wondering if I should, for example, just gonna draw this really quickly. Like I was, because like normally when I draw the eye, it would just like, you know, have the pupil being all dark like normal, but then I usually do like 2 lines for part of the iris, and then just do these lines to show like the shading, like, you know, the depth of the eye and all that. But I've been wondering if I should change that up and do it like this, and then when I shade it with color and all that, then I can shade it like I normally do. But I can always save this method for like when a character's like mind controlled or something, so it might just boil down to I change the way I do eyes based on the character. Because like for example, Coco in Black Circus, because she's a robot, I usually have her eyes like this, because it's supposed to be like her eyes are a camera, which that's actually how cameras work, because they act like eyes. And then I just draw like an actual circle around it to indicate that it's, you know, like a camera that needs to be focused in. And then I just do the lines like I normally do. Then I probably just darken the outline and all that, blah blah blah. Or if I want to get technical, I leave that alone and then just do the lines for this, and then go from there. But there's multiple ways of going about it, because like if a character is being controlled, you just do that, and then you just do this, you know, take away the life from the eyes to make it look like they're not there. The way I do like characters who are blind or dead, I usually just do that to make it look like they're just out of it. I was like, nope, they're dead. But back to this. Let me move these down so that way not in the way. But yeah, this is the stuff I think about whenever I'm working on things. To keep the shape with her. That for her eyebrow. Because I think this is what I did before with Skylar. I would have this, and then, you know, completely show, like, the eyebrow. I think nowadays I break it up so it's not so prominent, but it's like still there. Because like nowadays with Skylight, I think I do it like this, and then go like that for whatever. But I think it depends, because I might honestly I probably don't even think about it to the point where I'm like, do I do it that way? Because now I'm all curious of like, shit, how do I draw Skylar's eyes nowadays, or his eyebrow? Let me see how I did it in the recent Acid Cast, because now I'm just like, shit, how do I even do that? No, I still do it that way. Still make the big bridge, but I think at some point I did break it up a couple times in the past, so now it's just like a blur to me. But like if I want to get heavier detail, I just like, you know, do this to make it look like this is the part of her nose. Put her smile there just so we have something we're bouncing off of. Like if I want her doing like a big grin, you know, put emphasis on the parts of her cheeks that would be pinched. So like when you do that, you get the big grin. And then, you know, the more details you do, the different expression you're gonna get. So like if I do that, you're getting this. If I put lines under the eyes, I might be emphasizing something else, or maybe the character's older or something. Because like usually older characters have stuff like that. If I, you know, put lines right here, that means they're elderly, or they at least have crow's feet or something. If I take those away, this is what I normally do. I do this for like, you know, they're tired, bags under their eyes type of thing. This is what I normally do for the Creamfield characters. No real reason for this, I just put it there. It's like, let's just give them lines in their eyes. Does this mean anything? Probably not. It's just a thing I did, because like Marcy has those. Oh yeah, put the little circles on the mouth. So, I think when it comes to me, I like hopscotch from different methods and ideas based on whatever's happening or whatever character is being used. So not everything is like a guidebook of a character. Like for example, like let me grab him, because like I'll grab like 2 characters. I'll keep Avocado there so she can be used as an example. So I'll grab, where are you? I'll grab you. Bring him over here. And then I'll grab let's see if a hi-hat character has what I'm talking about. I'll probably grab them too. Where's Skylar? I'll go Skylar. Can I do it again? Yes, I can. Okay. So like for Skylar, his eyes are more like that. Jolly's eyes are more rounded like a Sonic character's, or at least Tails specifically has this kind of method. And then Avocado, she uses a bit of the Tails method, but it's like more rounded out to fit the look of her head because she's a frog. So she might be a special case in this situation. But like, see how I like change things up based on the character, and they're not always following the same rule. So like, if I were to use, where is he? You're in here. Or actually, I can even. Nah, I think it's easier if I use Viro for this. Because I was gonna say, Yorjadok does this too. Okay, so like over here, in Viro's case, his eyes are more narrowed down. Like, so they're closer to Skylar's, but they're more sharper to indicate he's either like more serious or maybe I use this for more evil characters type of thing. And then trying to think, I know there's like one more character that goes out of the usual. Let's see. Do any of the Creamfield characters do this? I mean, obviously they do, but depends on the character. I'd say Cheese kinda does this. Move her over here. So like in her case, it's just more of a circle with the line because she's with half open eye because she's female. So there's that, and then I know there's like another character whose eyes just completely ignore this. I'm trying to remember which character does this. No. Because like for example, like kind of like the character Kirby, you can always have eyes that are just slits, or just like black emptiness, and it just heavily depends on the character. Here we can use Becky. So like in Becky's case, Becky's does the Tails method too, but hers are just half open. So yeah, a lot of the female characters fall into the whole half open eyes thing. Marcy doesn't, because she's more of the happy-go-lucky type character. So like in her case, she just has her eyes more open. Like yeah, I draw the eyelids above it, but her eyes are definitely wider. Like they're similar to Skylar's. So yeah, everything just depends on what character you're using and going for, because they're not all gonna follow the same rules. But for me specifically, I purposely ignore like a ruling. So like for example, if normally you would have like an actual guide style. So like let's just say all of your characters are gonna follow the rules that Marcy and Skylar had. So their eyes are gonna be pretty consistent and stay this way. They're not always gonna like hopscotch between like Avocado and Cheese's method. Or like you might settle on like these two. So yeah. But again, this is likely a me thing. Or there probably is like a thing where some of the eyes change. Like for example, Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig. They're not always gonna have the same eye shape because those two characters are designed slightly differently. They're slightly different. But Bugs did have rounder eyes at some point in older animations and stuff like that. So again, it kind of depends on the choice in art style and stuff like that. And that's when I realized that I have Becky's coffee mug in front of Skylar's face. So I should probably turn that off at least, so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. There we go. I know her boobs are in the way of his face, but you get what I mean. But yeah, that's the thought process at least, is just I just draw the character the way I think they should look based on whatever design I'm going for. It's not always uniformed, and it doesn't always like make sense in terms of like if characters are standing next to each other, they might have completely different design choices. So like, you know, Marcy's pretty basic with her design of just, you know, okay, typical furry character, just has jeans and all that, anthropomorphic, whatever. But then you get like Jolly, who has this like big ass sweater, whatever the hell this is supposed to be on him, and so forth. And then you get Viro, who's just like, what is all this going on, type of thing. And like, you know, his head tentacle thingy. So it's like, okay, does this follow any cohesion? Technically, yes, since in their world all the characters are like different species that are like ridiculous and out of the box a lot of the times. So it's like for example, not all fish characters are gonna look like this, but here's an example of a fish character looking like this type of thing. So, and then of course, you know, you got Becky. She's like, what the fuck am I looking at type of thing. So me, I just pick and choose what I like. I just do whatever, and then make it work. So yeah, just do what you like, and if you're trying to make things more simplified and uniform, go for it. It's probably easier. It probably makes a lot more sense than my nonsense. But yeah, that's the idea at least. Close all these. But yeah, just fooling around. But yeah, see where I go with this in the future. And then, of course, when it comes to like body types, that's a whole other thought process you got to do, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, am I gonna make the character, you know, anatomically correct type of thing, you know, using the construction lines, breaking it down into shape so that way it makes sense. It's like, okay, this is where the crotch would be, ass, blah 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 blah. And me, I just fucking wing it half the time. I'll be like, okay, here's the boobs. I do like a bit of the rib cage here. Go from there. Go from there. I know this exists. It's more like I've done this so many times or for so long in the way that I've done it that that's why it makes sense. So it's more like I built the experience to do it, not so much of following a guide. Like, yes, I could still follow a guide doing it this way. So like, you know, the rib cage would be here. Breast would be a little bit more. The breast would be a little bit more formed because, like, you know, they sit on top of the chest. There are bits of fat and all that. Stomach. So you got this with the crotch going like there, and you know, it is what it is. Like, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing because you've put in the time to study on how anatomy works and all that. Me, I just more wing it, that I try to draw it based on what I'm thinking. And then of course looking at references also is super helpful, so never feel bad looking at references if you don't know how to draw something or whatever. That's never been a bad thing. Just look at reference. It's 100% better to look at reference than to try to go off memory and then not do it right. And then, you know, if you're a more visual person like I am, I usually look at whatever it is I'm looking for and then try to replicate it from there, rather than going like the construction method, because I am horrible doing the construction method. Because, like, for example, if I was going to try to draw avocado based on construction, you'd be like, okay, here's the circle, here's whatever line to show which way she's facing, and because she has a unique design, things are going to be a little bit different, so like her head's a little bit more oval shaped, so it'd be like this. And then if I'm going for the shape of her eyes, it'd probably be like this. So I make like the big round dome for her eyes. Try to line it up with this. Shape this a little bit more. And then like her grin would be like that. And so if we're trying to form it based on the shape of her eyes, this part would go up, be over here. This part would go up and be over here further down, because that's where her cheek goes, and then shape it for her head, kind of like a football. And then her cheek would be more out because it's like the inner lining of her face. And then female has the line right here for half open. You know, draw the eyes or shape the eyes however I want it. This part of her head more. Do like this, do like that. And, you know, close to pretty much what I was having before. But the reason why I don't do it this way is because I just feel too restricted following it. And granted, I don't technically have to follow this method. Like, I could have some of the line go out like this and stuff if it doesn't look right to me. Like, I can adjust it. It just never felt right for me specifically. So it might, so like if you do the construction method, it might work better for you. But for me, it just felt weird. So like I always like drawing it loose the way I do it right here. And again, that's a me thing. That's just me being stubborn throughout all these years. Did it the way that I did it, and then just adjusted over time. So never think that, you know, this way is a bad way or anything like that. It's just, it's a personal thing. Like, everybody's different. Okay, so I think I drew enough of these. Can just delete this. Don't need it. Actually, no. You know what? I'll just save this as a sketch thing. Export. Where even did I put sketches? I don't remember. Did I put them in? Oh no, I see it. Put them in here. I guess I'll make a folder for this just in case. Let's put 2023. And I'll just name this as based on the date. Sketches 1103. There we go. So I'll post this on Patreon at some point. It's completely pointless. Like, it was just warm up shit. Do I save? Yeah, I'm starting to work on Chica. Let's do another warm-up book. Let's be a little bit more detailed over. So I'm just gonna use avocado again. Try to make her a little bit more expressive. And this is just me, like, trying to get the creative juices flowing. Because again, there's like stuff I want to do in the coming months that I think would be really fun. I just need to plan it out, research the methods that I want to research, and then go from there and just do it. Because I was talking to my brother earlier today, and he was giving me tips on how to just get started on working on stuff and, you know, building habits and stuff. Because, like, I know one of the bigger weaknesses that I have is that I have a hard time with my scheduling. And so one of his advices was just like, you know, start small, start with like a little thing that you do. Like, for example, let's just say exercising. Say I want to exercise more often. He pointed out, I was like, well, you're already going to go to get something to eat, so use that time to, you know, do like a small exercise, whether it be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or you know, just like a few rounds of a motion. Just like start small, and then build it up over time, and then it gets bigger and bigger. And because it boils down to, you're already doing one action, just add another action. So I was like, yeah, you're right, you know, that makes sense. And then, like, for, you know, me wanting to learn other things, like get better at animation, stuff like that, he's like, you know, just take the time to familiarize yourself with whatever it is you're researching. That way the knowledge isn't missing from your mind when you're trying to get started, and you already have a place to bounce off of. So I'm gonna be trying to put more effort into stuff like that. That way I'm getting more done, and then also trying to do something new at the same time. So yeah, I'm just trying to improve as I should be. So thank you for getting on this ride of just me working out my shit. But yeah, and this weekend I plan on getting the Fat Lovers Club done for October's characters. Sunday should be when we vote for the next set of artwork coming, and then I will be working on more comic pages, and then I'm also going to be like announcing a few things. Not like actual big changes, but just like what I plan on doing with like either upcoming projects or projects that weren't like 100% done, such as the weight gain drive, because I don't want to just drop whatever was being worked on, but I also don't want to like exclude people who were supporting it. So what I'm thinking of is whatever the current weight gain drive is, I would like to finish it on my own time, and then put it on Patreon and Subscribestar as a temporary exclusive. So like it'll have its own tier, but I'll leave it open for the drive to still be supported publicly. And when the drive is 100% funded, then I'll release the images publicly for each goal that's met. Yeah, I'm glad people like what I draw and all that. I know it can be chaotic at times. But yeah, like that's what I want to do with like the waking drives. There's like small animation stuff that I want to do, which is why I'm researching what I want to do. I learned that I could bring movie files into Clip Studio Paint, so that's going to be useful for if I want to animate something specific. And then I want to do more with streams, so I'm going to be experimenting with that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to keep me busy, and then like I said, it ultimately boils down to, for me at least, to organization. So I'm gonna try to get myself more organized and not waste time each day. I mean, I'm always working on something, but I feel like I could definitely get more done. So I'm gonna be working on that as best as I can. So yeah, like I'm probably not gonna get anything major done this stream, but again, this is more of a practice warm-up stream thing, just to kind of get me back into the flow. But I definitely want to work on something major the next time I stream. So I would like to stream on Monday night. So for now, I think I'm gonna keep my streams tonight, because that's just how it's been working out so far. Normally, cream-filled characters don't have the lines in their eyes, but for now, I'm just gonna do it for this. So yeah, like the brush I'm using for this is the real G Pen brush, and this just feels better to me. It feels more, because like I've always liked the sketchy look for artwork, and so this brush kind of falls into the style that I like. Shape her head more. A little bit more out, because like she's kind of have like football cheeks. They're just a little more rounder than what a football would be. So like if I were to break this down, her lower half of her head is like this, kind of like a football. And then the top of her head is a little bit more shaped towards her eyes, because she's kind of falling into the typical frog eye shape. Like a big ol' happy grin. And then let's just say I want her mouth open so she can have her tongue out. I can make her look crazy if I wanted to. Let's shape this a little bit better. Because like, just from this expression that she has right now, there's like so many points I could bounce off of. Like if I put teeth on her, it makes her look like she's a little more crazy. Either crazy, or I could just say she's a lot more cheerful, depending on the grin. So like for example, if I just did a regular toothy grin, so like let's say, because I could do it like this, because like if I did like this, for example, this could just kind of makes her look like she's more cheeky, like she might be like chuckling or laughing or something. If I did it with this line right here, this kind of makes her look like a little bit more crazy, just because she's showing more teeth. I could get detailed with it by like, you know, trying to draw the gums. Because it's almost like, because it's pretty much like the more detailed you get with it, the more the meaning behind the expression changes. This could all mean different things based on whatever it is I use it for. So like, and then obviously context matters. So just because I drew her with a toothy grin doesn't necessarily mean she's crazy or evil or even happy. because if I add in other context, like, you know, the background or whatever the scene is, could change up the meaning behind the choice of showing off more teeth. And then even when she has her mouth open and, like, let's say have her tongue out, that could mean a whole different thing. So, like, another example was like, okay, let's just say I want to show typical, you know, toothy grin. So I do like that. I don't show too much teeth. I just keep it simple like this. I could show a little bit of gum here, a little bit of gum here, just to further emphasize, okay, she has her teeth out, and then, you know, shave this because it's the inside of her mouth. So I could do like that, but then if I want to take it a step further up, I drew blood. So it's like, okay, did she get hit in the mouth, and now she's bleeding, and she's looking at you all crazy because it's like, oh, you call that a punch type of thing. I can make her look like she's looking at you going like, bitch, you fucked up type of thing. She got the Jack smile. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I could do that, or if I drew drool like this, I can make it look like, oh, she's looking at you like she's either foaming, like, I can make it look at you as if she's like either drooling as if she's like kind of crazy, or drooling because like, oh, maybe she's thinking about eating you or something. I could add like a little bit of foam in her mouth to make her look a little bit more unhinged and crazy, or it's like, oh, okay, she's gone feral type of thing. Like, there are so many different ways you can go about it from something so simple, and that's like the fun part. And so again, like, I could draw her having a crazy ass tongue out, like a crazy ass tongue, like that or something. Well, yeah, a little more bulbous since she's a frog. So like, have her tongue out, and now it's like, okay, what's the meaning behind this? And again, context matters. So obviously, me just drawing it doesn't mean anything until I tell you what it means. But yeah, it could be like her tongue's out because she's like loony. It could be that she's gonna eat you. It could be that she's gonna lick your face. Or maybe she's just like, you know, making a face to try to get you to smile. You know, whatever. Should probably put her cheeks on there. Helps out. But yeah, like, there's so many ways to go about this. And that's like the fun part. So yeah, as long as you know what the right expression you're going to use for whatever the situation may be, then there you go. And then sometimes you know, you're going to draw a face for scenes that aren't 100% clear. Excuse me. And you may be hinting at something like, you know, all the times that I've shown Skylar with that big toothy grin every time he got excited about, you know, Marcy stuffing her face. And a lot of times people will be like, why is he having that grin? Because a lot of people kept thinking he's gonna do something horrible to Marcy, and he never does. But he always has like that big toothy grin on his face where it's like, okay, something savage is gonna happen. But in the context of the story, you just know that, okay, Skylar's really turned on by fat women. And so he just gets really excited for Marcy getting more chunky and chunky, or chunkier and chunkier. So you can always throw people off with a character's expression. And then, you know, like, I can always draw her with some teeth showing, then, you know, have the canines. And then, you know, go from there. Usually you have more of the teeth on the bottom. So yeah, it just depends on what the context is and what's the meaning behind it. And then again, I can get more detailed by like showing the gums or a bit of the gums, which a lot of the time you're going to show the gums anyway. That just kind of emphasizes it and makes it make more sense. Like you're less likely to not show the gums unless you have a particular art style that doesn't need them. So like right now she just looks crazy. She just looks like she's gonna do something. It's like, hey, it's like, oh, you can trust me, and she just grins at you like this, and it's like, shit. It's like, do you trust that, or do you try to walk away? Can you walk away at that point? Show some of the lizard part, or the amphibian part of her mouth. And then like just this alone could like indicate something. But like, if you want to get more crazier with it, you could, you know, add some lines to kind of make her look a little bit more sinister, like this. Can do extra lines like right here to emphasize her mouth and face and all that. That part's probably not going to be helpful in this particular situation. But like, you can make it go like that, just add lines like this. Or you can do like the Yu-Gi-Oh method, where they just do like lines like this all over. I just say Yu-Gi-Oh! I know this shows up in other manga and anime, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is my first go-to example of that. And then in my case, for like certain characters that I try to emphasize are more powerful or something, I usually put like these extra lines on the side of their eyes, like this. Because like I've done this with Skylar, where I put these lines on his eyes to kind of make him look more evil. And they're just lines that randomly appear, like they're not like actual markings or anything. But then you have characters like Viro, where he does have these lines as a consistent thing. But like I make them go like this. So it's like unique to the celestial characters. So their eyes are always like that. All the cream-filled characters have black lines underneath their eyes to kind of hint that they're a little bit higher up in the food chain. But often I don't even point this out, it's just part of their design. More like jackpot, you're right. But yeah, and then like again, if I want to emphasize her grin, so let's shape out her mouth or the bottom part of her mouth a bit more to give her more room. But yeah, like a lot of the times it's just the choices I make with like a character's eyes are just literally based on character by character. So like some of them will have darker lines in their eyes for whatever reason. Others will have markings on their bodies. So like I can draw like the lower part of her lip to make her look more unhinged. For some characters like Plum, for example. Plum, I just give her more lipstick showing. Like it's the same thing of showing the more part of the lip, but because she wears lipstick, I just draw the lipstick like this, and then I make sure to leave like some white to kind of hint that it's supposed to be makeup, like that. And then if you like really want to get crazy with it, you can like draw more detailed lines on the teeth, just to get a little bit more crazy with it. This kind of depends on the art style and the characters, honestly. So like in my case, this doesn't work because there's just nothing to bounce off of that with. So drawing the teeth is enough. But yeah, stuff like that will work. Normally I don't do anything with the upper part of the lip, but if you do something with it, it kind of just depends on the scenario. But this also could mean like the character is more unhinged or something. But most of the time I will likely not use those lines. It would just heavily depend on the character. Can emphasize her beak a bit more like this. You know, stuff that I already showed before. But it's just a thing you can do. Question: If your character a Mortal Kombat character, what is his or her fatality? It would heavily depend on the character. Like, for example, if I were to use, say, Skylar for Mortal Kombat, I would say one of his fatalities would be like he takes out a muffin, and the muffin would be a blueberry muffin because it'd be a reference to Marcy, and he forces the character to eat it, and then the character's body just expands heavily into fat and all that until either they get crushed under their own weight, or they, I don't know, maybe make them explode. But the exploding part doesn't quite make sense given what he actually does. But I think them being crushed under their own weight would probably be a thing. Could have one fatality where he just straight up murders the character and then turns them into food, like a pie or something. What's another good one? Oh, that pepper thing. That was a bit different. That was more like, that had to do with more the character eating until they burst. So yeah, I could probably have Skylar's fatality be where he gives them something to eat, they get, you know, enticed by the food, and so then he suddenly shows them like a giant spread the way he did with Tiffany, and then they would just keep eating until they're huge and then just explode when they finally eat like one more thing. So it'd probably be that. That would be like another one. So yeah. And since we have this look for her right now, I just go the rest of her. But yeah, I think, and that's like a slight reference to the whole Monty Python thing, with the whole eating until they burst thing. But I mean, it's not like a character hasn't done that before, but that's usually the reference that people go to when they see something, when they see that. Because it's like wafer thin mint. Just darken the parts of the mouth. Can't see. Let's fill in the gaps. And then for the parts that show the inner part of the cheek, we just use lines. So yeah, if Skylar had a fatality, it would likely be something like that. But yeah, it kind of just depends on the character, because certain characters wouldn't make certain actions. Like, if we used Evil Marcy, she'd likely just drug the character and strap them to a bed and torture them with electroshock therapy, or just stab him with that knife that she has. But she'd be pretty basic because, you know, she's not super powered or anything. I need to be more okay with being super sketchy like I used to. Lately I've been too used to cleaning up, so you know what? Let's just put all that back. Have this be like a chill sketch. It's like I can refine it, but I should leave in some of the sketchiness. Like, this could be a good way to play on Avocado's quirk, because she likes to do jokes and stuff. So I could show her having this grin on her face, making it look like she's gonna do something sinister, but then it just boils down to she put a whoopee cushion on your chair or something like that, or she got a bucket ready to dump water on your head or something like that. Like, she's not actually sinister. She just has a bad way of expressing that she's not evil. It's like, oh, she's got an evil face, she must be evil. No, she just likes doing jokes. It's kind of like that one character. I forget what his name was, and I forget the name of the manga. But there's like this one manga of a character who looks evil, like he looks like he's a psychopath and all that, but he's really a super nice guy. And there's like a situation where he accidentally hits his face and he gets like a nosebleed, but then he's like chasing another character while he has a nosebleed, so the other character thinks he's like crazy and he's like covered in blood and stuff like that. What was the name of that? I need to look that up now because that's gonna get to me. Manga about evil-faced guy who is nice. What was the name of that? Yeah, this might tell me. No, not School Rumble. I don't think it's this. Let me see. Well, definitely not looking at that. Is that it? No, that's not it. Fuck, what was the name of it? What about this one? No, that's not it either. Oh, wait. Is that the one? Hold on. No, that's not what I was looking for. Something for this. Damn it, why does it keep taking me that? What was it? Like, I haven't looked at the series in like years, but I know exactly what I'm thinking. And it's just a matter of finding that name. Main characters were saying evil. Fuck. Like, this is gonna get to me. It's like, I have to find it. No. Maybe if I type in high school student. I'll look for a little bit longer, and if I can't find it, then I'll find it later. They made an anime of it too. After a few years, when I first saw it. Yeah, this guy. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? Angel. Let me type that in, see if that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Angel Densetsu. Let me put it in here. Oh, god damn it. Freaking, like, ignore the sign-in part, but it's Angel Densetsu. Yeah, it's about a guy who just looks evil, but he's like a really, really, really nice guy. And he's in like high school or something. Like, I only read like the first couple chapters when it first released, but it was pretty funny. It was more of a humor manga from what I noticed, but I don't know if it got like darker than that. But yeah, that's basically what Avocado is. It's just like she looks like she's gonna do something sinister to you, but she's really just goofing off. And then if we're, you know, boiling it down to the Greenfield kinks, she just kind of gets off to that, to pulling pranks. So like I could totally see her like in this pose as, you know, let's just say whatever character she plans on pranking is just chilling. She can be like, "Hey, what you doing?" You'd be like, "Oh shit," because like you probably already know that she's known for doing something, and so it just boils down to like, okay, what's she gonna do? But yeah, I want to experiment with a few things. So like, for example, normally I would try to darken this for the shadow, but maybe I want to do it this way. Or I could be a little bit more clear with that and do it this way. But situations like this, I think I have to clean things up a bit more, so that way they make more sense. So like, even though she had the lines there for her sweater, I might want to do it like this, but sometimes this can be confused as being the top of her sweater. So it might be easier to just leave her sweater as it was and just do the shading the way I normally would, like this. And then just darken it in the necessary spots. So kind of just boils down to how you go about it. Let's put something a little bit longer. But yeah, Avocado just gives that whole looks crazy but is actually just silly type of vibe. And there's like other story ideas with like similar characters that I'd like to do, like, you know, yandere's characters who are like girlfriends who are trying to be like, you know, really, really helpful and stuff, you know, whatever storyline that I have thought of. And then there's some stuff that I want to do for YouTube videos that I want to save for those ideas. So I'll be sitting on some stuff in the future. And Avocado's got a decently curvy body. Obviously there'd be like some folds to her clothing. titties. Big frog titties. There we go. And she probably got something behind her back, so it's like, oh crap, what's she gonna do? I think realistically her arm should be just a little bit longer than this. Granted, she's kind of bent over, so it might be slightly shorter, so like probably in the middle. It's probably like this, and then this part of her arm going like this way. Because there's like a little bit of foreshortening. So like just extend this out just a little bit more. And then this shoulder would probably just be a little bit slimmer. So that way it's not like her shoulders are super bulked out. This one would probably be a little bit more in front of her turtleneck, but it's kind of fine the way it is because it shows more that she's facing a certain direction. Or her body's facing, because her head is tilted one way and her body's facing another, so like she's looking in this direction while her body is pointing in this direction. She's kind of got like a bit of a twist going on, kind of like that. And just shade some parts of her. I'll be honest, this is like I'm thinking way more on this than I normally do. because I'm explaining it to you guys, that's why I'm like overly explaining and like pointing out whatever it is that I'm doing. When in actuality, I'd never think about this to this degree, or at least like not vocally, not like consciously, or like I don't know, or obviously consciously, but like not in a sense where I'm paying super attention to it to that point. I'm just paying attention to it now because I'm explaining it. Because normally I just go with the flow and just do it. I don't like try to 100% be in detail of what I'm thinking. I just do what I'm thinking, and then if it needs adjusting, then it needs adjusting. That's like the extent of my thoughts on a lot of this. So I'm probably like overthinking than I normally do. And then like normally boobs would be like that. So wherever this is on her chest. Although technically this would be higher up because I gotta account for where her actual breasts are. So this is a little bit closer to her neck. There we go. Because like if I didn't do that, then we'd be missing this part of her breast. Because it'd be like over here or something. So now it's more like this. So like realistically her boob would be like right there. And this whatever the hell this is supposed to be that I put on her, jewel or something, would be in between her tits. I could probably emphasize on this a bit. Be like a little bit more detailed. Just erase whatever what doesn't need to be there. It's like, but she's wearing a sweater. I'm like, yeah, titties can still be seen through a sweater a bit. Obviously not like actual nipple or anything, but you know, emphasize the size. This will be a little bit more out if we're trying to keep the shape. There we go. Little dialogue of what she's doing, of what she's looming over you for. So, like, if I really wanted to make it more creepy, probably a little bit more shadow on her to help emphasize that she's leaning over. Your breast a little bit more pronounced. There. And then if I like really wanted to get super crazy with it, I could do something like this. So like, if you really want to emphasize that she's being all creepy, you just darken parts of her body like this. Leave the eyes alone. And leave the mouth alone. Darken like this part of her, darken this part. Just to kind of make it look like she's being way more creepy. Darken this part of her, just so like more of like a silhouette to emphasize her body. And you can do the same thing for this part of her face. Just completely hide some of her body in shadow. And now it just looks like she's gonna do something. Like now it really looks like she's gonna do something to you. And don't worry, this is on a different layer. So if I did this, just delete this part so that way it's easier to see. But yeah, now it looks like she's definitely gonna do something to you. Whereas this was okay. This just looks like she's gonna maybe do something silly or at least it's obvious that she's planning something. This just looks like she's actually gonna do something to you. This looks like she just murdered somebody and now she's just wondering what you're doing. Yeah, she's looking at you like, you got the Wi-Fi password? And then of course, you know, obviously there's like other things we can do with this. So like if I took this, I could just let me grab a brush, that way it's can have more fun with this. So I'll take like a water splash brush, bring it up a bit. You can do this to her. Just make it look like she's completely unhinged. multiply, so it's a little bit more darker in some spots. And then put it back to the normal brush. Do like this. So it's pretty much what I said before on her. Yeah, she's like she's like she comes to you covered in blood, and she says like, "Hey, you want to see something funny?" And you're sitting there going like, "I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen now," because she just walks up to you covered in blood, and she's like dripping blood and whatever, and she's like, "Hey, you want to see something funny?" And then it could be something where she literally just shows you something funny, and then you're like, "Why are you covered in blood?" And she's like, oh this isn't blood, this is like, I don't know, she just says like strawberry sauce or whatever, and then it cuts to like her accidentally squeezing a donut or something, and it splashes all over, but it gets all messy and just looks like blood or something like that. Like there are many ways to go about this, and that's like the fun part, because like I can also do something silly where I have her in this pose, but then I do this. Like I put like a birthday hat on her or something, or even like a little princess thingy, whatever. But like that. Or because she is silly, I could do something dumb like put a clown nose on her. Like there we go. Just be all dumb about it. And again, this is all assuming we even keep that toothy grin to begin with, because it's mostly the grin that's doing most of the work. Because it's the grin and it's the how wide her eyes are open. And I think technically her eyes would be more narrowed, because they have like a more round shape in the original artwork. Like that, sorta. So like if I were to do that. But it's fine that's not there. It's more like because her eyes are so wide and her mouth is full of teeth, you just assume she's gonna do something sinister. But yeah. But this was fun. It's been a long time since I've done like sketches. I mean, I think the last ones I did were, let me see. What were the last ones? Where line art? Yeah, I think the last ones I did were like these, if I remember right, where I just drew random characters for a stream. So yeah. But yeah, I think I'll call it for tonight. This was a fun, just, chill stream, just vibing. Next time I stream, I'll definitely do something more detailed and more time consuming. But yeah, just really wanted to, stream again to kind of break the silence, and then let people know what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna try to start getting things off the ground and put in some time to work on things on the side. So maybe not right now, or maybe the stuff that I'm thinking of right now isn't gonna come to fruition anytime soon, because I have to build the assets and put in the time and research and whatever it is I want to do. But yeah, just letting you guys know I do have more planned for higher tiers and other things in the future, along with me working on comic stuff. Which, for the comic stuff, I definitely want to, once I start working on my organization and my scheduling and all that, so I can be more efficient with my time, I definitely would like to get more pages done in a week, because I know I can. I just gotta do better. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I will like the plan at the moment is I would like to stream again on Monday. That is the plan. If anything comes up, I'll let people know on Discord and all that. But right now, I want to stream again on Monday at 9 p.m. Pacific time. That is the idea. That is what I want to do. That is my initial plan. So I plan to do that. But yeah, again, thank you. Um, I will work on the Fat Lovers Club artwork this weekend or tonight as well. And I will see you guys next week, okay? Um, yeah, what a crazy frog. Yeah, I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good night and or morning, depending on where you live. And I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye bye.